Hello, I'm Russ Cross. I'm with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage and have responsibilities for our community outreach efforts in the Upper Midwest. With me this morning is Tyler Smith. Tyler has national responsibilities for our bank-owned community development team working in communities throughout the country. And we're often asked, as we spend time with city officials and neighborhood leaders, what's happening in other cities? What are other cities and neighborhoods doing to help rebuild areas that have been hard hit by recent economic issues? So we want to spend time talking about a couple of different ways that we have helped communities as they address rebuilding their neighborhoods. But I want to begin by talking about Wells Fargo's focus. First, we want to avoid foreclosure sales whenever possible. And second, we're keenly focused as a result of input from neighborhood leaders and city leaders on helping bring back values to our neighborhoods that have been hard hit through these economic challenges we've been facing. As a company, we prosper when our communities prosper. So our focus is on doing whatever we can to help communities be as successful and as economically viable as possible. We do that through team members spending time in the communities, and we do that through contributing more than $318 million in contributions to local nonprofits in 2012. But today, we want to talk about a couple different aspects of efforts that we're making at the local level to help cities rebuild their neighborhoods. Tyler, your group is extremely creative and constantly thinking about new and different ways to address issues that neighborhoods are facing, particularly as it relates to home values. Let's begin by hearing and understanding why you created the bank-owned repair strategy.
Yeah, Russ, we've really taken an aggressive approach with our portfolio of bank-owned properties and how we manage those, and again, to repair those to maximize values. It used to be the strategy that we would get a property post-foreclosure sale, put a for sale sign in the yard, and sell it as quickly as we could. Being out in the communities and talking to leaders and concerned citizens, we realized that we could take a more responsible approach. So we're actually doing repairs now on over 70% of the properties that we service in our portfolio. We spent just under $300 million on repairs last year. When we do our repairs, we're not necessarily needing a dollar-for-dollar return on our investment because we're seeing so many other benefits from doing repairs. These properties are on the market a lot less time, about 40 days less. We're selling more to owner-occupants. About 78% of the repaired properties were sold to buyers intending to occupy them as their primary residence. Everywhere we go, they want to know what we're doing to bring homeowners back into the marketplace. And that's been our most successful strategy.
It's an excellent example of listening to city officials, listening to neighborhood leaders about what can we do as a company, what can Wells Fargo do to help rebuild neighborhoods. So we listened, we learned, and we changed our practice, which is enabling neighborhoods to rebuild themselves with owner-occupant buyers, and at the same time bring market value pricing back to real estate transactions.
I'd say that's a key point for us as well, Russ. We understand the effect that our sale has on not only our other customers, but other constituents in the neighborhood. When we raise the property value, we're not just recovering more for our investors and our shareholders, but the neighbors around us are affected. When they go to refinance their property or go to modify their loan and get an appraisal, they've got a higher value as a comparable property, so that's been an important piece for us too.
Well, it helps homeowners recapture lost value, and it helps cities hopefully regain some lost property tax revenue as well.
Yep.
Another way that we've spent much time with local government officials addressing the neighborhood stabilization issue is on the creation of land banks. There's a variety of approaches to land banks taking place around the country, increasing interest amongst communities and states regarding land banks. And Tyler, you've been very instrumental in helping start some land banks and certainly helping them flourish as they address the need that neighborhoods have throughout the city. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how Wells Fargo is working with land banks?
Sure. So land banking's been around for some time. It's just kind of coming to the forefront again as a strategy to deal with some of the most distressed properties in a marketplace or in a neighborhood. We've got an alternative disposition strategy. So when we're not going to repair a property, if a property is beyond that, we work with local nonprofits to see if we could donate or discount to them. But if that doesn't work, then we rely on land banks. Community land banks, when there is one, is a great disposition strategy for us because we know that that severely distressed property is going to be managed correctly. That can range from acquiring the property, repairing it, and putting it back into productive use. Some markets, like Twin Cities Land Bank, they do a lot of acquiring. They work with developers and get those properties reoccupied by buyers. Other land banks have a more demolition focus, and that's certainly viable as well, to take some of that low-hanging fruit out of the neighborhood. Again, those affect property values for all the properties around them. They're not really saleable. There's not much we can do with them. So being able to work with a land bank and know that it's going to be managed responsibly really takes the onus off of trying to sell that in the market.
Many land banks are not only created just by cities, but they're created by cooperative efforts amongst many cities. So cities look for ways to help rebuild neighborhoods. Land banks are certainly one tool. Repairing and responsible disposition of bank-owned properties is certainly another way. And we're eager to help in any way possible cities rebuild their neighborhoods. Tyler, you have some contact information that people might find helpful as they contemplate ways to either develop land banks, access Wells Fargo's bank-owned properties. Can you share that contact information with us?
Yeah, all of that is available on our public website, which is reo.wellsfargo.com. You can also view all of our available bank-owned inventory on that website. There's also information on there on how to contact us if you're interested even in talking about land banks or other donation programs or our repair strategy.
Great. Thank you, and thanks to all involved in rebuilding America's neighborhoods.
Thank you.